Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I see you made it. Since you're here now, can you do me a favor real quick? Just sit back, relax your mind, and let's get real. Imagine a space where dads could simply be. A place where dads of all ages and backgrounds talk candidly about the highs and lows of this thing called becoming and being a brother, a husband, a dad. Step into the dad sphere, where we let you into the mind of dad, the place where many unspoken thoughts, questions, and fears live rent-free forever. Yeah, you heard that right. We're actually going to let you into our innermost being. It's necessary, and it's been missing. My name is Richard Sadler, but many people call me Rich, and I am the host of the Dad Sphere. On this podcast, I'll be speaking from the heart about my journey to and in fatherhood. I'll be talking with other fathers, unpacking their stories in hopes of creating a space where fathers keep it real, always. Creating a space where we lift each other up and sharpen each other in the process. Subscribe to this podcast today. Go check out the website at thedadsphere.com. Go follow on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, of course, at The Dad Sphere. Tap in and stay locked in as we travel through the Dad Sphere. Let's get it. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Dad Sphere. If this is your first time, I am ecstatic that you are here. If it's your second time, I'm still ecstatic. If it's your third time, man, I'm floored because quite honestly, that means you've listened to the trailer, you've listened to the first episode, and now you're on this third one. And I am deeply appreciative of that because quite frankly, you could be spending your 15, 20 minutes. I'm not going to keep you guys 20 minutes today, but you could be spending your 15 minutes somewhere else. Quite frankly, time is valuable. It's the one commodity that you can't get more of. You can't make more of that, and you chose to spend it with me, and I am grateful for that. Also, on that note, I mean, for a lot of us, time is money. You know what I'm saying? So 15 minutes, that could be a lot for some people, and I am so grateful that you chose to spend that time with me today. So I'll jump right into this, make this real quick. As if you know me, many of you know that I'm a mama's boy, right? I know I'm not the only one out there in the lay of the land that is a mama's boy. If you're a mama's boy, I need you to stand up right now. Be proud of that, man. But we got to talk. For real, for real. We got to talk. So, I'm a mama's boy. As I alluded to in the last episode, I grew up in a single parent home. So, my mama raised me. Of course, naturally, I have an older brother. I have a younger sister. So I'm the middle child, but I feel more like the older child, you know what I'm saying? So my mama depended, like heavily on me for a lot of things. And I wanted to be that rock for my mama because, that's my mama, and I got this, but that as I grew older, the fact that I was a mama's boy manifested itself in some wonderful, magnificent ways, and in some regards, it manifested itself in some pretty negative ways. With that being said, to start off with that of the good, I can throw down in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Clank some pots and pans together. I can do that. If you need somebody to cook a Sunday dinner, I got you. I can do it. Like I can tell my wife to sit down, relax, kick your feet up. You don't have to worry about anything. So, I'm always out in the yard on a grill or something of that nature. I'm always on this Blackstone. Like my wife got me a Blackstone for my birthday, and I kid you not, I have cooked on that thing at least 2-3 times a week since I've gotten it, and I've only had it a little over a month. So you guys do the math on that. On top of that, I clean. I can clean. I mean, I can clean an area spotless, and I'm really meticulous and particular about it. I wash clothes. You know what I'm saying? I wash clothes all day long. My clothes, kids' clothes. I'll do all of that. Now, when it comes to folding, that's a different story. I don't like folding clothes. I kind of feel like it's kind of pointless to fold clothes a lot of times because, like, as soon as you wash them, you're just gonna pull them out of the dryer and then you're gonna put them right back on and throw them back in the dirty clothes bin. So why fold them? So it takes me a while to fold. Like, I'll probably let the clothes sit in a basket for a couple of days. My wife and I, we get into it all the time about that. I think it's kind of funny, but she doesn't. So hopefully when she hears this, she doesn't jump all over me for that. But so yeah, I cook, I clean. Also, I'm a little more in tune to I would quote unquote say the female psyche. So like I'm paying attention and I'm looking for those emotions and I'm in tune with that, which is a good and a bad thing. I empathize with a lot. But at the same time, a lot of times I'm looking to try to be, the savior. I'm looking to try to fix everything. I know that's pretty much every man. We're always looking to try to fix something because naturally most of us are fixers. But as I've learned after, being in this marriage thing and, dating my wife, for a while, my girlfriend, yes, she's my girlfriend. She will forever be my girlfriend. She doesn't always want me to fix stuff. Sometimes she just wants me to listen. And that's kind of hard to do, for myself included. But on the flip side to that, of being a mama's boy, my mama and I, we're thick as thieves, man. Like if I don't talk to my mama, on a daily basis, like something feels a little off. I'm a little better about it now. We do talk most weeks. We do talk just about every day. And shout out to my mama. My mama is the goat of all goats of mothers. And if you disagree with me, I will fight you. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna fight anybody today, but I'm serious. My mama is like, she's the bomb. Like, in my opinion, she cannot be beaten. But you should feel that way about your mama. All right, so rant over. Back to my point. Along the same vein of being a mama's boy, there came some negative connotations with that. One being that I mentioned my mama and I, we talk just about every day. So there was a pretty long period of time in my life where I told my mama everything. And I mean, quote, every single thing that happened in my life. And I carried this into marriage. It probably went on for the first, 3, maybe 4 years. And I know women, if you're listening, you're probably like, your wife put up with that for how many years? But no, seriously, this went on for that long. I mean, I had to go to therapy, man, to help me with this and, help me understand and dissect that relationship and that dichotomy. But I would tell my mother everything, man. So it was to the point where if things happened in my marriage, whether it was good or bad, disagreement, a real bad disagreement, my mother knew about it. And fellas, if you don't already know and you're doing this right now, that is a recipe for disaster. Let me tell you right now, just stop doing it. You have to get to the point where you learn that there has to be a separation or a divide. You have to create a space where those two women, your mother and your wife, can coexist. You have to understand that your wife, that's your wife. Like, that's your woman. And your mother is your mother. And the things that go on within your marriage and your family, your mama doesn't need to know all of that. Because I don't care how you put it. And my mom, she is one of the most non-controversial or objective people that I know. It's part of where I get my objectivity from, where I'm able to kind of try to see right down the middle of a situation and not necessarily choose a side. But brothers, when it comes to mamas and their boys, let me tell you, that's difficult. I'm pretty sure that if I brought my mama on this podcast, and maybe one day she'll appear on here too, but I'm pretty sure if I brought her on this podcast, she would probably agree with me. I'm 99.3% sure that she would agree with me on that one. But it's up to you, man, to create that space where they can coexist together. That means stop running to your mama with every little thing like I did. I had to learn trial by fire. I'm telling you this so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made. And if you are making those mistakes, I'm telling you now, as a man, brother to brother, cut it out, man. You got to cut that out, okay? It's not designed to be that way. There's a reason why the husband, goes off and he finds a wife, and he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. That's KJV for y'all that don't understand. So yeah, you got to stop doing that. You got to create this space where they can coexist and understand that your wife, that's your wife. You know what I'm saying? Also, along with being a mama's boy, it created this situation in me where I wanted to be because I wanted my mother to depend on me. And I know my dynamic growing up may be a little different than some others. And I know it's very similar to some others as well. But I wanted to be the individual that was always depended on. And I never wanted to have to depend on anyone else. But that put me in this situation where I faced a bit of a Superman complex, as my therapist put it to me. And I'm going to be real with y'all. For a moment, like, I hated going to therapy. I hated going to see my therapist. One, I was like, even with insurance, this man's cost too much. And it's like, two, this man's just sitting here telling me stuff that I already know. And I don't want to hear it. But the truth of the matter is like, he showed me some things that I didn't already know. He helped me see some things in a light that I didn't see previously. And he helped me see that, even though I grew up in the situation that I did, and I love my mama as much as I do, and I love my family and my extended family as much as I do, I can't be all things for everybody. That was a weight, like an invisible weight on me that I was carrying. And quite frankly, it was interfering with not only my marriage, but with how I interacted with my children. But more importantly, my marriage, because it's like, yo, if you don't have your marriage together first, like, your marriage is your first ministry. If you're married, you know what I'm saying? That's your first ministry. So you got to have that in check. And if that thing is falling apart because of your own doing, or like I'm out there running my mouth, to my mama about everything that happens in my marriage, or I'd rather have a conversation with my mama than I would my wife, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she's my number one. You know what I'm saying? So, but it created that Superman complex in me where I just felt like I had to carry everything. I had to carry everything for everybody, and it was a weight, and that interfered with my marriage up front tremendously. And I mean, full transparency, being that my wife and I, we were almost 8 years in the game. December will be 8 years for us in this game as being officially married. It feels like we've been married 30 years, but it gets sweeter and sweeter, with each passing day. That was hard, for me. That was hard. And she dealt with having to put up with that for the first, it's got to be 3 to 4 years of our marriage at least. And I'm still, trying to work through that, because a lot of times it is my first thought to be like, oh, I'm gonna talk to my mama about that. And it's like, hold up, Rich, pause, pump the brakes, bro. You need to talk to your wife about that. That's the woman you need to be talking to about that first. And if you discuss it with her and you're like, well, I think I'm gonna talk to my mama about it. And she was like, all right, that's cool. Then maybe you can go talk to your mama about it. But aside from that, you got to stand on your own too. You know what? I just had another thought. So, like, we already identified that I am a mama's boy, and a lot of us dudes are, right? Nothing wrong with that in and of itself. But in the same vein, being that I'm a mama's boy, and at one point in time, I was telling my mama every single thing. What am I showing my wife, my new wife at that point in time? What am I showing her? I'm showing her, one, I can't be depended on. Two, I'm showing her that the things that happen within our marriage aren't necessarily going to stay within our marriage. Three, I'm showing her that she isn't that woman in my life, which then leads to number four. I'm showing her that she can't trust me. And it took me a hot minute to figure that out. And our marriage didn't become better until I actually was willing to do the work to figure that out and accept that I was wrong in doing those things, and then be willing to put a plan in place to move forward from that. So, like, brothers, I'm not here, trying to knock you down, because I'll be knocking myself down as well. But, like, when you really sit back and you look at yourself in the mirror, could you say that you would agree with that type of behavior? I mean, in other words, would you say that you would want your wife, anything that goes down within your marriage, you would want your wife going back to her mama or her daddy, if he's there, telling them everything? I think not. I mean, whether good or bad, that's going to rub you the wrong way. And I had to come to understand that. Oh, I just had another thought. And I mean, it just goes back to, how jacked up I was, in my thinking. I'm gonna say it real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all go because I am over my 15-minute time limit. I'm sorry about that. But like, I was telling my mama everything as it pertained to, my wife and I, and like even when my wife and I were just dating, I was telling her everything, but I didn't tell my mama. One of the biggest things ever, I didn't tell my mama that we had actually gotten married. Spoiler alert. We'll talk about that later in another episode. So, fellas, if you are, quote, end quote, a mama's boy, like I am, and I'm proud of that, what have you done to create a space where your wife and your mom can coexist with boundaries? If you haven't set up that space, why is that the case? This is just my 2 cents, but I'd suggest that you don't take as long as I did. I'd suggest that you tackle that sooner rather than later. It'll make everything so much better. I want y'all to know that I love y'all, and I mean that. So God bless, and I'll catch y'all next time in the Dad Sphere. I'm out. Peace.